This is TWiT.
All right, get those hands ready for some innovation. Raise them in the air like you just don't care, because that's what you got to do if you're going to use this payment system. Okay, have you ever left home without your wallet and your phone, and you're like, I really want to pay for these groceries, but I have no way to do it? What do? Now you can use your palm, the palm of your hand. And this isn't actually just launching this moment, it's expanding, and I'll get to that. But Amazon, of course, first launched palm scanning technology back in 2020. It's part of its Amazon One service, and we've definitely talked about Amazon One a number of times on the network. This is Amazon's attempt to streamline the retail shopping experience. If you remember the Just Walk Out system that was flawed in its own ways, that they launched a few years ago. Pretty minimally, right? It was the idea that there were cameras in the store that would watch what you take off the shelves, and you could literally just walk out the door. If given that you are a white male walking out the door, or anyone else, you might face some issues with that technology. Just throwing that in there. Anyways, this technology uses a palm scanner device at the terminal to authenticate, and ultimately you could pay for your bill. So you don't have your phone, you don't have your wallet. Great, you always have your palm. What could possibly go wrong? Customers register with a payment card and a phone number. So that's attached to the palm print that they've registered. They also agree to some terms of service that they may or may not have read. And then that palm scan is stored in Amazon's, as we know, vast array of data-hungry cloud servers. But don't worry, they're encrypted, in transit, and stored specifically on Amazon One servers. Only Amazon has control of that data. You just hover your palm over the terminal. It pays the bill. And again, what could possibly go wrong, right? Like you get your groceries, you walk out, yay! Technology is awesome. And I'm not saying that that isn't kind of interesting and neat that that works. I'm just saying it's flawed. This has been available in a few Whole Foods stores to date: Austin, LA, New York, and Seattle, to name the ones where you may have seen this already. The news now is that it's expanding. So Malibu, Montana Avenue, Santa Monica this week, and then soon it's going to expand to other places in California, Orange County, Sacramento, yes, the San Francisco Bay Area. So who knows, we might see it here at the Petaluma Whole Foods, and then Santa Cruz. So Amazon is hungry for your palms. It's coming for all of them. And unsurprisingly, privacy advocates don't feel very good about it. But before I move on, what are your thoughts, Micah?
I mean, this is the other thing, is that not everybody has palms either. There are some folks who don't have those. Good point. That's just an aside. But okay, so I know I'm making just lots of sounds, and that's because I'm sort of starting to say a thing and then zooming out from there and realizing I need to give more context, and then zooming out from there and realizing I need to give more context. I'll start by saying that I appreciate the work of privacy advocates 100,000%, and on the whole feel that, yes, this is another opportunity for Amazon to gather some data. But what I think is important, it's actually something that and now his name is escaping me, on This Week in Google.
Jeff Jarvis?
Yes, Jeff Jarvis has kind of instilled a little bit, is maybe not jumping to panic immediately, but sort of making sure that the privacy implications are understood. And so that is kind of where I am with this, with the One Medical purchase, with the Roomba purchase, the iRobot purchase. When these things happen, it is easy, and it does in most cases make sense to jump on the train of like, oh, Amazon is gonna steal this, steal that, steal that. But
what is this? How is the sky falling? Blah, blah,
right.
blah.
How is the sky falling? Exactly. But I think that while I love that we all have our hackles up now in all of these situations. Like, that is what I want. I want that to be the way that we approach these things, and that now companies can't just jump in and take things without us thinking about it or reacting to it. I like that part of it. But as we continue to sort of evolve with our understanding of data collection practices, I think it's important then that we get to a place where we, at the very least, wait to see what the privacy policies are, what those implications are, instead of immediately thinking that it is the worst possible outcome that it could be. Because I don't know personally what Amazon's policy is surrounding the Palm payment system. And I would wager, I don't know this either, but I would wager that while Palm payment may be an option, I don't know if it's going to be I don't see Amazon making it the only option, because
that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, people will still be able to. Yeah, most likely people are still going to be able to pay. Almost certainly, I should say, people are still going to be able to pay in the ways that they pay now. This is just going to be an option that people who are okay with, or who are told there's some value in doing, will be able to switch to this payment system. So yeah, it is gross. It is potentially gross and creepy, and certainly we need to have our hackles up about the where our data is going, and in particular the data that relates to these very unique things that we have. But at the same time, I don't think that it's going to be that you can't go to a Whole Foods without just paying the way that you already have.
So that's true. I couldn't see Amazon saying this is the one and only way to pay. And if that were the case, I think that would be a much bigger issue. I have a hard time giving a third-party random company that has made a business around collection of data, and Amazon, offers and provides a lot of different things, right? Obviously, but and we're going to talk about the impacts of this sort of stuff in your story of the week, the potential kind of like, see this through to the end to the worst possible outcome scenario, and you can see why people are nervous, because more and more things like this are happening. Privacy advocates, what they're pointing out, and as you mentioned, is that the Palm or basically anything biometric is unchangeable. It's just a piece of who we are, right? My thumbprint will always be my thumbprint. My palm print will always be my palm print. So if I choose, and yes, it is a choice, thankfully, but if I choose to use my palm to make these payments, and that data is stored in Amazon servers, and then, by the way, Amazon's also working with third parties to get a third-party adoption for this sort of thing, places like concert ticketing and stuff like that. So the web starts to expand out. There is no such thing as a burner palm. There is no such thing as, as like, oh, dang, well, you know what? That was a horrible idea. I changed my mind. You kind of can't change your mind once your biometric information is out there. That's the thing that gives me pause on something like this. I don't necessarily jump to Amazon is, a statement where Amazon is absolutely 100%, doing something nefarious with this information. I kind of go to the place of caution, which is like, all right, there is inherent convenience here, but pause. There's convenience here, but are you comfortable with the potential that something could happen down the line if you do that?
Yeah, and understand the implications for sure.
Yeah, understand, right. And so, when it comes to those terms of service, when it comes to the company that's offering this, and I'm not saying Amazon can or cannot be trusted. There are certainly others in the industry who I would have a lot more pause about doing this with than, say, Amazon. But I just think it's worth taking a moment and asking yourself how comfortable you feel about that. That's kind of where I stand. I don't know that I will necessarily use it. I don't find it super inconvenient to pull out my phone and scan a QR code. I feel
to be
comfortable
honest,
with
I
that.
don't really go to grocery stores anyway. I use a grocery delivery service. So I guess if on the rare occasions when I do, I just bought my watch onto the terminal, and that's it. I'm done. So I don't. Yeah, there's no reason to use this. Even if Amazon was like, oh, we'll give you 20% off your purchase coupon, that would drag in my partner, but not me.
Yeah, right. That would drag in a lot of people, I think. You know? It would. So anyways, and that's very interesting. You might start seeing these. Yeah. And just as a last thing there, that is where it does start to get into a place where where there's more of that concern. You know, if you're offering these really good deals for the purpose of getting people to use something and it's not explicitly explained and fully explained how their data is being managed, then that is where those concerns fall in. But sure.
Yeah.